Hi everyone, I'm Tim, this is Taylor. Yeah, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I cheered all 4 years at Adolfo Camarillo High School here in California, and then I cheered another 2 years in college. I am a national champion.
Yeah. We're good. I'm Tim, cheered at California All-Stars, did a little bit of college too, and yeah, worked for UCA for a little bit too. I don't know, did a few random things. That's actually how I met her. I was working for UCA. She was pretty amazing. Remember her team. They sang a song for me once.
We did.
Yeah, so yeah, anyways, we're just hanging out. We'll let people just kind of come in for a minute or two. I'm not sure how many people are coming, but yeah, we'll give you guys a minute to come in. And yeah, while we're waiting, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And we're probably, while we're waiting, also, if you guys want, just make sure you clear out a space. If you guys want to join in with us, we're probably gonna just do a little warm up and stretching, and then we might get into like some handstand drills and some other fun stuff. Also, how's your wrist? Do you want to get taped?
Sure.
All right, we'll show you guys how we like the tape wrist. So I'm not sure if you guys have wrist problems, but I have my favorite way to tape up my wrist or my flyer's wrist. So yeah, I'll show you guys that. Which wrist you want to start with? Perfect. So big hands. What I like to do when I'm taping a wrist, start with making a good size hole for the thumb. Wrap it around. And then to support the thumb, I'll wrap it this way, but you want to keep it nice and loose because this doesn't feel too great cutting off circulation. And then I wrap the other way. So I've jammed my thumb a couple times with stunts, especially like stunts like rewinds or pop throughs and all sorts of fun stuff. Never know what's going to happen. But yeah, that's how I like the tape wrists. So you guys might have your own techniques. That's completely fine. I like using stretch wrap. Makes it easy. It's self-adhesive. You want to do your other wrists? Should we throw in a little bit of music, do you think? Yeah, I got it. So
Also, if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to drop them
Gli
down.
occhi di una dea che una bambina scrive forte questa penna secca e curvilinea. Devo scavare il fondo se voglio scalare la cima. Forse stavo meglio prima, adesso sono solo tra la terra e il suono. Un orologio fermo sa l'ora che tira. Inciampo in mezzo alla linea di confine. Un chi che mi comprime. Non chiedere chi, non è così. Non è sempre che ciò che dico ha un fine. Solo ciò che ti so dire. Puoi sentire di che parlo, etichettare, che ascoltare, direttare. Io sono quello che sono, devo solo diventarlo. E so che tu non hai capito molto. E se ti può rassicurare io non ho capito un cazzo. Parlo solo di quello che vivo, nient'altro. Una stella negata nell'altro. Non ricordo quello che dicevi, mi ricordo le tue espressioni.
it's great seeing you too, Camilo. How have you been? Miss you guys. Yeah, so I think we're good. You want to stretch? Okay, so we're going to start off with some just light stretching. I'll let her kind of get warmed up, and then I'll teach you guys some partner stretching. So if you guys have a partner, you could also do this on your own. But yeah, if you have a partner, you can get really flexible like this. So it's one of my favorite ways to stretch out my flyers. So yeah, feel free to join in. I'll move out of the way so that way you can see her stretch.
It's very important when you guys do a straddle stretch that if you're going down, you make sure you have a flat back. Good.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna go into a couple partner stretches. We're gonna do we'll do right and left splits first. We're gonna stretch to the front and then to the back, and then I want you also to think we're also gonna do resistance. So we're gonna do an 8 count of the flyer pushing against, and then an 8 count of the person that's stretching relaxing, and that's going to help you go a little bit farther. So let's start off. And then back a little bit.
Innocente come un bimbo che grida oscenità per gioco, oscenità per gioco. Ultimamente se cammino sembra che non tocco il suolo, che non tocco il suolo. Sì va bene, stai calmino, guarda che era soltanto un gioco, era soltanto un gioco. Se te la prendi, mi hanno ucciso, ti hanno ucciso, ti hanno ucciso. Non chiedere come, è che non provo più dolore. E non chiedere come, è che non provo più dolore.
Rotate to the side a little bit and just place your chest on the ground. And if you're not, no worries. I'm not that flexible. I wish I was. For the flyer, or for the secondary person, you can just push down nice and gently on the lower back / hips, and breathe for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then hands up.
Mi guardavi con il miele dentro la mia voce
And you're
figge.
going to put your head towards your backwards, stretching out that back. Yeah, it's not a lot of people's favorite. So 2, 3, just keep reaching for that back foot. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And relax.
Farci male sono meglio, rido morto forte le tue labbra chiuse. Più mi guardi diffidente, più la scelta sembra tua. Farci cose carne e tenere la fondi in destino e nervature.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, resist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, relax. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, resist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and splits. Reach to the front. Then So as a heads up, this next one, you want to make sure you go out of it the same way that you go in. So it's going to stretch out center splits. However, it's easy to start pulling something if you do it wrong. So I'd highly suggest just go along with me and go out the same way that you go into it. So lay on your back.
Piangimi forte, qui sto sereno, piangimi forte, ora stai in vacanza sul serio. Come la chiameresti tu? Una fine di questo tipo. Come la chiamerebbe Nude? Che nemmeno ho finito il disco. Mi ricordo chissà che fastidio. Un mese che lavo le like del video. Stavi per dire che appena uscito all'improvviso ti ho fatto più. Ora i social sono tutti miei, i giornali sono tutti miei, i tuoi fan sono tutti miei. Lo prometto non lo faccio più. Ed è vero che tu sei più grande. Io lo so, tu lo sai, lo sappiamo. Ma devi ancora imparare a morire. Peccato. Voglio una morte ipotetica, una che finisca sui giornali. Una che faccia il volto si media, una che si dimentichi domani. Piangimi forte ma non ti ascolto, piangimi forte, io non ti sento qui sotto. Voglio una morte ipotetica, una che finisca sui giornali. Una che faccia il volto si media, una che si dimentichi domani. Piangimi forte, qui sto sereno, piangimi forte,
we'll bring it right back up to the center, same way that we went into it, and you can relax. All right, guys, so those are some of my favorite ways to just stretch out my flyer. Just that's just a regular stretch. Every time we go to practice, I'll generally stretch out my flyer like that, just to make sure she's all set for stretches and jumps. There's a few other stretches that you could do, especially if you want to do some of the like bow and arrow stretches on the tree. So we'll show you a couple of other stretches using, like, you could use a wall, a tree. For back flexibility when you're at home, you could use a door frame. There's a lot of different places, so we'll show you that. I mean, if you want, either way. I mean, we have a tree. Okay. Sounds good. Do you want to demonstrate, and just in case they don't and they have a wall? Alright guys, we're going to show you with our tree. You want to get maybe along one of the sides? Perfect.
Got to turn it this way a little bit. There you go.
A little bit. Alright, that could be a wall, that could be a tree, that could be anything. You're going to go and put your body against the tree, and then offer up your leg, offer up your arm. And then what I'm going to do as a person stretching, I'm just going to start off rotating slowly, basically pulling her arm towards me and pushing her leg again. So hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. One to your other leg. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You like my 3?
Your tree?
My tree. Do you want to do back stretches? Do you want to show them like the doorway one and pretend I'm the other side of the door?
Yeah. Okay, so back stretches, if you're in a doorway or you have anything like that near you, the best way I like to do my back stretches is I'll use you as the other part of the doorway. So yeah, what you want to do is you get low on half the door frame, and then you're gonna slide your leg up the other half of the door frame like so, and then you just walk your way up the other side and you hold. And you just breathe through.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax.
And then same with the other leg. You just kind of start it off at the bottom and slide it up the door. And then walk your way up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax.
Also with that stretch, if you're like a little extra flexible, what you can do is instead of having your bottom foot at the edge of the door frame, you can walk it forward a little bit so you're more of in a hyper extended split. That'll give you a really good stretch.
Do you want to type your name for your Instagram?
Yeah, I can.
You want to do the @ sign? That way it tags you.
Okay, I'll go back and do it.
Perfect. There we go.
That's my Instagram name.
Yeah. Make her famous.
Don't do that.
All right. Do you want to do some handstand drills?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to go into a couple handstand drills. Basically, having a good handstand definitely helps with many different things. First of all, if you're a base like me, if you have a handstand, that means you can hold up your own body weight. Generally, as a base, especially myself, we're a little bit heavier than our flyer generally. So, yeah, if I can hold up my own body weight in handstand, I can hold up another person above my head. So, yeah, we'll do a couple handstand drills. So they're good all around, whether you're a base, a flyer, or anything else. This is all set up. Yeah, and then for flyer, obviously, hand-to-hands are huge. Inversions are really big, it's depending on your level. So, yeah, work those handstands. Tumbling, forward part of tumbling.
Also, key tip, make sure when you're in your handstands, you're not just like this, you're pushing up with your shoulders, because that'll really help keep you stable and keep you up there.
Do you want to just warm up a couple of handstands?
I'm on a downward hill.
Yeah, should we walk over to the flat spot? Okay. Do you want to go diagonal, or should I place the camera over here? That way they, yeah. So shrug out, push against my hands, make yourself nice and long. So, big thing when you're doing your handstands, you want to have a nice, perfect line. I'm sure we've all seen gymnasts do handstands, and they have a great line. However, their line is generally from the center of their body. For more of an acrobatic handstand, when you're doing hand-to-hands, you want to have a really nice line. However, you want your line to be from the front of your body. So that way it's a nice straight line, basically going down your whole torso all the way from your hands to your feet. That'll give you basically a small hollow body position, but it's great for hand-to-hands. If you could hit it, it's great. So, want to do a couple more?
Oh, sorry.
You're good. I know that you're on a hill.
I'm also on the edge.
Yeah. Push against my hand. So the reason why I have her push against my hand when she's in her hand-to-hand is it really extends out her whole body. When you're doing it in a stunt, so a hand-to-hand, instead of the flyer balancing, just like when they're on their feet, they want to be making themselves nice and long. Their way of balancing is just make yourself longer, not try balancing like that. Is there anything you want to add? You good? All right, you want to do a couple more, or you warmed up yet? So One of the drills that I really like for hand-to-hands is going to be this next one, or just handstands in general. This forces you to hold your shape. So just like when you're standing in someone's hands, you don't want to be moving around all over the place. You want to stay tight. Same thing in hand-to-hands. You don't want to, as a flyer, be moving around. You want to stay tight for your base and allow him to adjust you. So what we're going to do is we're going to have her do a handstand. She's going to be nice and straight. I'm going to tilt her from side to side, and she's going to hold that shape, or at least try to hold that shape. It's really, really hard to not balance because we're all accustomed to doing some balancing. So just like when you're a flyer for the first time, your first natural instinct is a balance. Same thing when you're upside down. So we're going to do that, hopefully break those habits. And this is a great drill to do that, as well as teaches you to squeeze that core, squeeze those shoulders, everything. So yeah, so you'll go up. I'll tilt you from side to side. I might even rock back and forth.
That's fine.
Just try not to have those shoulders do that.
If my hand lifts off the ground, it's not my fault.
Yeah. Perfect. And slight adjustment. There you go. Okay. And hold that shape. Keep squeezing that core and breathe. I was like, oh, she turned into jello.
It's hard because I'm
Yeah.
on the downward hill. So I'm like,
Okay, just for the record, I asked her, does she want to go to a flat ground? She said, this is fine.
I didn't know we were doing this drill.
So it's all her fault. She looks guilty. Well, actually, I look guilty. But then again, just leave me alone.
Good vibes, man.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Hey, it would be good, especially depending on where we went. Maybe they'd leave us alone. True. All right. So yeah, that's a really hard drill to master, but we'll do it again. Biggest thing, really try engaging that core. A lot of people are used to doing this with their arms. You really want to open up those arms and not planche. So close those shoulders.
Also,
Yeah.
for the person who's doing the handstand, it's okay to, like, if you're here, if you go more on your fingertips or more on your things, just like try and connect and push to your shoulders and hold them up to your ears. Try not to move from there.
Perfect.
If we do the side to side, can we go like this way or this way?
Sure, whatever way. You want to go this way? That way you're still in frame.
I'm just gonna cross my legs, okay?
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go back and forth first. You ready?
Mhm.
Squeeze that core and relax. Nice. Proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Shucks.
So that's one of my favorite handstand drills. Basically, for hand-to-hands, it's very important that you don't balance, and that's an easy way to break that balancing. Do you have any drills that you want to show? Or do you want to teach them how to hop in from shoulders, but the drill on the ground?
What do you mean?
The straddle, jumping in from straddle. Instead of pressing what you just did, but jump. How did you go into hand-to-hand?
This way?
No. How did you just go into handstand right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll show you a drill, basically how to get into a handstand, similar to how you would do it from shoulders. So basically, if you're going into hand-to-hand, this is generally the way. I'm not sure what you guys call it. Some people call it express ups. Acro calls it in-locates. There's different words for it. But me and my flyer back in college didn't know what we were doing. It was a little boy tumbler, and our coach just said, try hand-to-hands, because he was working with the girls on a dance. So that was my first hand-to-hand, but it wasn't from shoulders. But yeah, we didn't know what we were doing. I thought he was going to shoulders. He thought he was going in the hand-to-hand. Apparently, neither of us even figured out how to go low. We went straight to extended. So yeah, interesting times. Yeah, do you want to do that drill? So basically, I'll walk you through the drill. I guess hop right here. You want to go facing me? That way they can see. You're going to start off, your feet are going to be the person doing the handstand. You want to keep them shoulder width. So should we put it at an angle, or is that good? Do you want to go at an angle?
No, I was just going to show them shoulder width.
Okay, so shoulder width, maybe a little bit closer because my head, just enough room for my head to be right there. So you're going to put your hands down. Basically, index fingers are parallel, just like railroad tracks. Big hands around it. That's how you're going to place on the ground. You're going to put it about, what would you say, 10 centimeters in front of your toes. So a little bit closer because my hands won't be that far out. Maybe.
Your hands are not that close.
I think they are.
It's like right here.
Okay, and then tuck your head. You're going to jump, ball, and then straighten out. So balling up is generally for a lot of people a little bit easier. Do you need me to spot you?
Sure.
Okay. So you want to do it at an angle then?
Sure.
That way I'm not blocking. Okay, so spotters, right here. Just hold on to the hips. You ready? 1, 2, jump, ball, straight, and relax. So the biggest thing is you can hold a handstand with your legs bent. You can't hold a handstand if you open up too early. So you just want to jump, get enough power, hold that ball until your hips are in line with your shoulders and your hands, and then you can straighten out. So let's do that one more. Yeah, no worries. Ready? 1, 2. Perfect. And relax. So another way that you could go into it, that's a lot more cheer oriented, looks a lot cleaner. You could also straddle up, as well as you could pike up. That's a third method. Piking up, I remember my first time basing it, I was a little bit confused because it gets a little bit of forward momentum at first and then it straightens out. But it looks amazing, but it felt really weird at first.
Also for flyers, if you're going to pike out, make sure you have really good core strength. It definitely takes a lot of core strength to pike up.
Yeah, so for the straddle up, do you want to talk them through it, or do you want me to?
I guess I can.
Yeah.
So straddle up, you're going to start in like the same position, so you're going to have your feet shoulder width apart, you're going to want your L, and then the rest of your fingers spread out super far. What you're going to want to do is as you jump, instead of going straight up into that ball position, what you're going to do is you're going to want to rotate your hips out, almost to where like you're pushing them up but out. So like if you were doing a regular toe touch, you're going to want to shoot your butt straight up in the air and almost roll your hips outwards. And then that'll get you up and over yourself. Once you're up and over yourself, you can finally bring your legs together up at the top.
All right.
Anything to add?
No, that's about it. So just jump, make a big circle with those legs, and then you could either straddle or feet together. I know cheer generally we like to do feet together. Acro likes to put feet apart. However, it adds a little bit of stability when you're used to it feet apart, especially if you're going to do like one arms. But yeah, like cheer, we like to put feet together, especially if we're going to pop it through. So do you want to show that? For some reason, for a second, I thought you were wearing the blue latex gloves. I was like, wow. I forgot.
Okay, you want to spot me?
Yeah. Ready? 1, 2. And relax. All right. So we'll do it once also facing the camera. That way you can see the legs kind of come around. We'll do once with feet coming together, and then we could also do one with feet coming apart. So we'll do feet together, I guess. Ready? 1, 2. And relax. And then you just want to stop in a straddle in a handstand or hand-to-hand. Yeah, this is going to be the other part. So you just don't close your feet.
Make sure if you stop in a straddle, you want to tuck your hips in. Don't have your butt hanging out because it'll throw you off balance.
Ready? 1, 2. You want to close your straddle a little bit? Okay, and relax. Keep in mind, she's on a hill, so...
Very true.
Yeah, she's slightly off balance. Also, I keep thinking she's wearing those blue latex gloves. I'm not sure if you guys have blue ones out there, but a lot of the doctors and nurses and people in the medical field out here have like blue latex gloves that they put on. I keep thinking her rap is those blue latex gloves. So yeah, just want to pause for a moment. Is there any questions, by the way? Anyone have any questions, concerns, worries?
Want us to go over grips or anything like that?
I know that the lag might be a little bit because you guys are on the other side of the world, so I'll give you guys a moment to type up any questions. While you're doing that, do you want to go over grips since you brought it up?
Sure.
Okay, so do you want to talk through it or should I?
You can
Okay, I got
through
you.
it.
So for grips, I like to go big hand. You want to think basically when you're grabbing the other person's hand, both of you guys should be at a 45-degree angle. So not completely flat, not completely straight, but right in the middle. What that will do is it'll take off some of the pressure from that wrist. I know certain people, especially tumblers, flyers doing hand-to-hands, people doing handstands, people doing back handsprings, even just round-offs and cartwheels, puts a lot of pressure on that wrist, so gives you a lot of wrist problems. So what that will do is it takes off some of that pressure, so that way you can have your wrist last a little bit longer. Let's see.
What's your favorite stunt position?
Base or
Lane
favorite
wall.
stunt. Yeah, my favorite stunt position is obviously flyer because it never happens. I've flown once in a 211 in a routine. And
They put you up in the air?
yeah.
Heck yeah.
Keep in mind, I weigh as much as a base and a flyer should weigh in that stunt by myself. So it was a fun stunt.
What's your favorite stunt?
Let's see, my favorite stunt. I love cannonballs. So I'll talk through cannonballs in a moment if you guys want to learn how to do that. Hopefully you feel up for it.
That's fine.
Just kidding. But yeah, we'll go through some of the drills, and who knows, maybe we'll see if we can get cannonballs today. I'm not sure. Checking the weather might be good enough. But yeah, anyways, let's do these grips. So big hands, grab on. You're gonna grab, and with your fingers, you want to start pulling in. So try closing that connection, making a nice solid grip connection. You're gonna have your hands at a 45-degree angle. So you look at our wrists, they're slightly at that angle. They're not too flat or too steep. So no, yes. So what I like to do is, especially when you're not used to this grip, squeeze that wrist. So I'm gonna try moving it, and I want you to squeeze. So what this will do is it just practices you squeezing and holding a nice solid platform for that hand-to-hand. Basically, it's as if similar to when a flyer is on their feet. If they start moving around their ankle, it's not going to be a very solid stunt because it's moving all over the place. This wrist is acting as her ankles right now. So basically, if it's moving all over the place, it's really hard as a base to control it. So really try locking it in. So we could do it with the other hand too. Grab, pull in, squeeze that wrist. I'll try moving your wrist. You want to try moving mine? Yeah, so just try moving each other's wrists. You really want to try getting a nice flat grip. A lot of times when you were grabbing, it's really easy for people to start, I'm not sure if you guys could see it, there's a huge gap right in the middle. So instead of just trying to squeeze like that, you want to try getting that palm completely flat and pushed against as much as you can. I know I sometimes have gargantuan hands, and if I have like a little itty bitty flyer that's 4 foot nothing, I'm not sure what that is in centimeters like the rest of the world uses, but yeah, it's sometimes hard to get that grip, but yeah, really try. I think we had a question. Are you guys? We could try showing some partner stunts.
We haven't warmed up, and we're on a downward tilt, so we can try.
Well, I'm down to do it anyways, but yeah, keep in mind, when was the last time that you stunted?
You know, that's a great question. Last time I was at the green.
So
last time you put me up.
Keep in mind, we stunted a year ago, and yeah, but I'm down to throw some stunts if you guys want to watch. Yeah.
I'm down, but don't judge.
It's
been a while.
Yeah.
Also, flyers for hand-to-hands. What you want to do is you're gonna wrap your pinkies and your thumbs around. You're gonna take your 3 fingers. You're gonna put them on the wrists, and it helps a little stability, especially for me. If you kind of like take the tips of your fingers and push them into the wrist. Keep in mind you do want to keep that flat palm, so you're just kind of use your fingers. It helps almost in a way give you that little bit stronger of a handstand.
So yeah, should we attempt a hand-to-hand?
Oh God, I haven't done this in way too long.
Or do you want to go through cannonball drills?
We can do cannonball drills.
Okay, perfect. So assuming you guys have your hand-to-hand, let's pretend that you have your hand-to-hand, you have different entrances, you're looking for a new entrance in. One of my favorites is cannonball. You're welcome to look at my either Instagram or I think I have a better video of just jumping into it from my TikTok. I'll put that on there. Should be the same thing as, or I think it's Stunt Pros. So at Stunt Pros, so STUNTPROS for TikTok. I think it should be like the last video or something. But we're gonna start off from the ground. What you want to do as a flyer, you're gonna go onto your back in a ball position. You're gonna squeeze your feet towards your butt. You're gonna really try pulling in. You don't want to keep yourself hanging out because you're gonna scratch on the ground, and that's no fun to have Wolverine marks on your back. For the base, we're gonna have that nice grip. We're also gonna just pull in. I know some of us have longer arms, so just remember, keep that chest up. You don't want to be dropping that chest. I'm not sure if any of you guys do weightlifting, but if you guys do, you know you always want to keep that chest up. You don't want to ever drop that chest. So the first drill is just swing drill. You want to get 1 to 2 big swings, and then you could put the flyer either back on the ground on their back, or you could kind of let them on the second or third swing open up and basically just go and stand up from there. So we'll do a couple little swing drills in case you want to see that.
They can't see it from the big. We're gonna have to work back here.
So you want to grab that side of this, that way we don't have you swinging. So the goal for bases, generally, if you can swing her out to about parallel, you'll have enough height to have her go into hand-to-hand. So scoot all the way back because we're going to end up taking a few steps forward. So what we'll do for this, you could wait until you lay back. I'm going to grab on. I'm going to take 2 steps forward. Generally, I'll take 2 steps and then I'll even out my feet. So overall be 3 steps and then I'll go. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. And then I'll use that momentum from her being so far in back of me to initiate that swing and get that power to get her up. So yeah. So basically go as far this way, that way we stay on the grass hopefully as we can. And then bring your feet up. I like to cheat it. I like my thumbs into her feet, and then really pull in. And then, yeah, you ready? So that's the first part of it. Just getting that big swing. Basically take 2 steps forward, and then as you're swinging, you really want to start lifting, because you don't want her just dragging on the ground the whole time. I also like to lay out a towel when I'm doing it, snow or sweatshirt. Obviously, if you guys are at a gym, that makes it a little bit nicer, but still no fun getting carpet burn on your back. So just Flyer has a shirt that also works, although sometimes it gets dragged up, so having something on the ground can help.
Also, Flyers, when you're doing it, as you want to think pulling in, if you think having your elbows a little bit closer to you, it really helps you keep that position of that ball, so that way you're not letting go. So you want to really think like you're here. You want to really think having your elbows in and tighter to really make that ball as small as possible. So that way it's easier, 1, for your base to get you up there, but 2, as he's getting you up there, it'll be easier to kind of just get over yourself and shoot straight up.
All right, so let's do that a couple more times. I'm gonna throw on a little bit of music. Let's see. No clue what this one is, but
keep in mind, if we play a bad song, we're sorry, we don't know any of this music. It's all in Italian.
So if there's a bad word in there, I'm sorry.
We're sorry. We don't know what any of it means.
I blame Camilo, because he never taught me the bad words. Yeah. All right, so let's do a couple more of these drills. We'll do one swing and then do one stand up.
One swing and then stand up.
Mi sento perso, è buio, fa freddo, non posso. Vento,
Ready?
vento che sale, e io che stento.
All right, so yeah, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I know I've commented on it. We're gonna do, make sure if you put your thumbs right there, it helps the Flyers. Without that, it's a lot of core strength. I know that a lot of Flyers can hold their core, which is great, but not everyone can. Also, it helps a little bit with timing. So when you're going into your cannonball, I use it kind of to help tell my Flyers when I want them to go. So just having that connection, as well as it puts them in the right position. So sometimes when you're just using core strength, you don't know how far, what your body position should be. So it's a nice little reminder. Anything you want to add?
No, it's honestly, it's just keeping that core as tight as possible, tucking your legs in as close as possible, and holding those arms almost at a good angle to where you're squeezing in so you don't let out of that cannonball, because just go bad.
Okay, so I'll talk you through the next part. We're gonna do a couple more of these drills. I think we've tried the drill. Have we done a cannonball? I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
Okay, so we'll go through the drills. If it's looking good, we might go for it. If it's not, then we'll probably show you something else, like an amazing thigh stand. That looks good. She's gonna base me.
Yeah.
So anyways, for this next part, basically I'll go over the bases part first. As you're swinging out, you're going to think, instead of letting it continue, you're going to start driving up. So it's going to come out, and then you want it to start driving up, just like a Olympic power clean. You're going to drive up, and then you'll drop underneath it. So it's very similar to a power clean sort of position. You don't want to let your arms come out too far before you start pulling in, because now you're sending your Flyer in back. Thank you. I appreciate it. Should I avoid my does not play well with others shirt? So yeah, swing through, drive up, drop underneath it. When you're going to extended, same thing, just get a lot more power, and then instead of bending those arms, really use those legs to drop underneath it. For my flyer, what you're gonna do is you're gonna stay in a nice ball position. You're gonna think, you're gonna wait till that feeling of you changing direction. So instead of swinging out like a circle, you're gonna wait till you feel it changing positions and shooting up. The timing for people is, everyone is different. So some people, that moment comes a little bit faster, some people it comes a little slower. So you're gonna wait for a moment. Generally it's about half a second, it's just a little fraction, split second, split moment. And then you're gonna shoot out with those toes. You're gonna just drive through your toes all the way to the sky, assuming letting yourself unravel all the way to your hands. Assuming that you have a perfect blind, which is not always the case. If you go a little bit too early, you'll shoot out. So if we're going this way, you'll shoot out. If you go a little bit too late, you'll shoot over. Also, if you pike, you'll go over. If you arch, you'll go out. And sometimes I use that a little bit to my advantage. If I notice that we consistently go over, I'll tell my flyer generally to arch a little bit, or just to kind of Kentucky windage it and have it hit, and then from there we could start correcting our technique and getting it more solid together once we have it. But yeah, any questions so far? Looks like Camilo. Yeah, okay, so yeah, yeah, we'll do a couple more drills. Anything you want to add? You feel pretty good with that explanation? All right, perfect. And don't forget smiling. Most important part.
Oh yeah, you have to fake it till you make it.
All right, let's do, I guess, a couple more drills. See how high we get.
Swinging drills or?
Because other part is actually going for it. Yes. Ready? Okay. So, yeah, we'll do one more of those. We'll also add in, let's add in, if you want to jump into it. So obviously you see that we're starting on the ground. If you want to jump into it, the easiest way is treat it kind of like a forward roll. Instead of jumping up, you want to jump forward and just tuck into a ball, and you're going to go into basically the first part of it. So we'll do another one of these drills, and then if you feel up for it, we can
attempt it. You just have to walk through really quick.
Yeah. So she hasn't done this next part, but you'll get to see someone learning, which I'm excited about. Biggest thing is really pulling those arms just like you did on the ground. We want to have you as far away from the ground as possible, because this literally takes you very close to the ground. So you don't want to leave any room for air. However, with jumping forward, it gives you that momentum for that swing. So
instead of just a dry swing.
Yeah. I feel like I have less momentum doing it this way, which from the ground I'll get more momentum. It changes up timing a little bit, but it's still great to start on the ground before doing this, just before you put it all together. However, let's do one more swing drill, and then we'll do... Alright, so for this next one, like we said, we're going to start off, basically it's going to be similar to a inlocate, express up, whatever you want to call it, Purdue up. She's going to jump. She can keep it very, very small. Jump, tuck into a ball, and then just basically try finding my thumbs with your feet. So you're going to try going into the same position that you're in on the ground. towel. However, if you want to give yourself a little extra room, if you have those foldable mats or some sort of mats that you can stand on, you can put it underneath each one of the bases' feet. So here and here. Also keep in mind bases have a wide stance because your flyer is going to jump basically through your leg, and if you have your feet closer together, it won't turn out too well. So if you guys are at the gym, which you're not right now, but when you try this, just put something underneath your feet and it'll give a little extra leeway through the middle for your flight. And make sure it's solid, that way you're not slipping. So you're going to just basically face that way. So she asked about grips. We're going to do regular, like, Purdue up grips. So, yeah, basically, as soon as I get underneath, obviously it's here. A lot of people like to start like this. Some people like to start up and then go into it from there. But yeah, you're going to have this grip. Yeah. How do you feel?
You want me to just bring my hips up and fall?
You want to think, just jump forward. So instead of hips up, well, yeah, kind of this up. Have you done, yeah. Have you done like a kind of uncrook?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but just think a little hop and just kind of roll into it. You keep it really small at first, but and then we can go bigger from there. So biggest thing for this, just keep it small, like I was telling her, and then you can go bigger from there. I'm not sure, can you guys hear us with the music? Let's see. Write something if you can't hear us, but yeah, let's try it. So squeeze that cord. But the first one is always the scariest. If I was in her shoes, I would lose my poop. Try not to use bad words. But yeah, I would lose my mind. I'd be definitely afraid. So I'm proud of her for doing it, but the first one's always the scariest.
Yeah, you tell me.
Ho cancellato il mio nome da tutti i quaderni perché senza il nome da chi per li ho fatto come se fosse la fine senza abbastanza ossigeno per sorridere se cielo c'è mi dipinge la faccia di nero il mondo ci mamma di meno occhi grandi calimero ho fatto grandi salti sono ancora quasi intero godi lividi ne voti quel limite sorrisi rosini te dividi
Think about that real quick. So just jump into the ball, and then generally I don't find my flyers. I'll stand a little closer so that way you guys can hear. So she's asking good questions. Keep in mind she's learning this. She's asking, how do I find the base's thumbs? So muscle memory helps a lot. So if you could do that drill on the ground just to find where your body position is at, it helps a lot. Also, you want to think just jump and worry about just try going into that ball first. A lot of times when I'm doing it, I'm not finding my flyer's thumbs until it's time for her to basically shoot out. So it's basically almost like a touch and go. So it's like her foot finds my thumb and now it's shooting out and going into a handstand. So it's literally just a quick moment, and it takes a little while for them to get into the perfect ball position from there. But yeah, the biggest thing, base, keep pulling up. Don't drop that chest when you're doing it. You want to stand nice and tall and really kind of shrug out with those shoulders, just like with any other stunt, and resist. And then flyer, keep it small. You could always make it bigger as you go on. So keep it small, little tiny hop forward and just tuck into it. And then from there, make it bigger and bigger. You ready?
Kind of.
believe in you.
Of course, I used to.
Yeah, I believe in you. Me neither.
My ass was grabbing it. Oh God.
If you want, you could even bend, and that way you start off a little smaller. That helps.
My head going into the ground?
No, just think you're going into the same position. Your head's not going to go into the ground, but if you want to just keep it small for right now, hop into that position. Treat it like a portal roll, where you just jump and touch. Or if that's... Oh, it's good. It's good. It's great. Well, as long as I have your hands, that's the most important part.
No.
Better than you know. Are you ready? Let me know when you're ready. Alright, you ready? 1, 2. Hey! You did a thing!
I did a thing. I was really scared to put it in the ground, that's why.
So, scared, overcame that fear due to peer pressure from you guys. I'm proud of you. So yeah, that's just the first part, and we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna try making that bigger and bigger. As you guys advance, there's something called a dislocate. It sounds nasty, and if you do it wrong, it can be. But it's a cool little flip where it looks like you go out, you do a little roll, and then you come back through the legs, and then back up. We'll teach you some drills for that. And yeah, let's do a couple more of these though. Well, you don't like dislocates?
No.
Alright, ready? 1, 2.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good, you're good. Tuck that head, or else it will be tucked for you. I think we're slightly closer of friends.
We were slightly closer at the beach.
I know, we're all ready.
That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
Find your training somewhere else and get your butt doing it. Excuse my language, but
Oh, you're good.
you be safe now. Enjoy the day.
Yeah, stay amazing. A little bit worried.
By me?
No, you're a little bit worried.
Makes sense, my heart is racing.
Oh, that just means that you're alive.
Maybe it's because I'm scared because I don't want to not talk to you again.
Well, that was coming out of it, not going in.
True.
So, yeah. And then that was also because you're like coming out like that, not
Yes, it
staying
was
in.
on this time.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't touched. West Hollywood. Alright, you ready for this? We'll do one more. Well, let's see if we can get one where you got the flop top. Ready? Alright, 1, 2. So yeah, keep it small at first. You have a platform to base your training off of.
If you want.
And yeah, sounds good. We'll just do some drills. So yeah, let's. You're gonna start off on your back, very similar. Instead of our normal grip, we're gonna do a reverse grip, and you're gonna put your feet against my hands. So we'll lower the camera and we'll get you guys a little bit closer. That way you guys can see grips for this one.
So am I laying on my front or my back?
Back, same thing.
Help me out.
No. I just want you to be a flagpole. Just stand there. Let it blow. your face in there a little bit. So what you guys are going to do is it's going to be similar to the other drills. However, you're going to start off with a reverse grip. So your hands are going to be turned 180 degrees. Are you good? Okay, yeah. So our normal grip is this. Our reverse grip is this. Bring your legs up. You're going to put it against the back of my hand. So, yeah. So this is the start for dislocate. And naturally, you like start push against my hand like you're going to roll backwards. Like push my hands away from you. Like that way you roll that way. Like with your feet, push and try roll. Okay. So perfect. So relax. What we're gonna do, I'll try speaking up. We're gonna do a little swing out, trying to hold that position, pull in, and then when we're outwards, you're gonna push using your feet and roll to your feet, basically. So you wanna just push and do basically a backwards roll, and I promise it'll be pretty easy. But yeah, just try seeing if you can make it to your feet. A little bit. Alright, so ready? 1, 2. Pull in, so bend those arms. 1, 2. So first ones are always the best. How's your wrist?
It's fine.
Scoot this back a little bit.
Oh, so you want me to go over and back through?
Yes. Basically, you're going to your feet where you're standing, so just push, roll, go to your feet, and then we'll start teaching you how to change grips. That way you can then swing through regularly.
Wait, so you actually do want me to stay on the ground?
You're going to just go into a nugget position.
Are you going to hold me like this?
Well, no, you're going to hold yourself. You're in a nugget position. But yeah, we're breaking it down. So
Wait, what kind of nugget do you want me? Like a nugget?
on your feet, like show me a nugget. Perfect. Congratulations. That's it. You're qualified. No, you're good. Where's your hands at the beginning? Is your hands yeah. Perfect. Something like that. I don't know. Just roll until you worry about where your feet are and not where your hands are. For right now. Yeah. Ready? There you go. And basically, this would be where we switch over and roll right back. Perfect. So, biggest tip for flyers, push against the hands. Use that push and momentum from your feet to get that initiation. Bases, similar thing, but you want to stop, break this thing down. You don't want to go too quickly because the next part you're going to have to go wide and go around. That way you don't dislocate something, or else it'll be just like the name. Yeah, let's do that a couple more times. So stop
At the nugget.
at the nugget. We'll change grips and then roll to your butt and back. Making a little bit more sense? Perfect. Ready? And wide grip and grip. So, once again, going out, rolling, coming right back through. So that's the drill. We'll do it a couple more times for you. And yeah. Our goal is eventually to slowly cut out this.
The nugget. Slowly cut out the nugget.
So for a while it might be like kind of a tap and then roll back, and then eventually it'll get cut out. So slowly just cut it down. So nugget slightly less.
Nugget slightly less?
Yeah. Well, less time.
And then roll back?
Yeah. So we'll land and change.
And then are we actually doing this?
No, first part's ready. Yeah, so a little bit, like we're
I
going.
feel like you started and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, let's try keeping it not just enough to make it, but not super wide, because it'll be hard to do as wide as we're doing. We'll keep it just slightly smaller. It'll be a little bit weird, but keep that in mind. But we'll practice it right now. Keep it same speed. Ready? Pull in. There you go. Yeah. So let's see. Any questions so far? Hi guys. Okay, so yeah, that's the little dislocate. Push off, roll into a ball, and then from there everything's the same. Let us know if you have any questions. Let's see, anything else that you want to cover? Or tips you have?
Just making sure you keep your head tucked. Especially because
You want to stay right here? Let's do that. We're gonna slightly move this.
okay, yeah, so just making sure you keep your head tucked during the whole thing and you're constantly pulling in with your arms, so that way you aren't hitting your head one on the ground or on your base.
Yeah. Okay, so let us know if you have any questions or anything like that. Let's see, what's your favorite stunt?
My favorite stunt?
Can she do the same exercise for you? Yeah, of course. She's usually my my base, so we'll switch off. I fly cannonballs a lot.
Up the games.
Yeah. She takes steroids. That's
No,
why her
I don't.
mustache is bigger than mine.
Totally.
Oh, I mean, is it useful? You mean for cannonball drills, or like which drills or exercises? Because these exercises they're meant for both bases and flyers. So basically, bases, it'll help you build up strength. If you don't have a flyer, you can also use different weights, whatever you have available. I love kettlebells. They're some of my favorite. So if I don't have a flyer, my next best thing is a kettlebell. But yeah, so I'll grab the heaviest kettlebell I could find at the gym, which is approximately a small flyer's weight, and just use that to either
100?
swing. Yeah, approximately. Sometimes they have 90s or 80s. I grab whatever I could find, but in perfect world, yeah. So yeah, and I'll also use that for practicing my toss, basically starting off with it between my legs and then just driving up all the way to the top and then right back down. So yeah, those are fun exercises. They wear you out quickly, but it's good. Yeah, any other tips, or what's any favorite cheer moments that you've had?
Favorite cheer moments? Oh, I remember when one of my coaches tried going up into a half, and she did what she tells everyone not to do. She like toes it, butts it. She blamed it all on us.
Okay.
It was funny, but at the time it wasn't, because then when all of us laughed, we had to do a multitude of push-ups.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of fun, exciting cheer moments for me. Let's see, any favorite stories?
Have you ever gone to London with UCA?
I have not. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a UCA All-American, or is it all All-Americans?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're at least all high school All-Americans, they don't have college, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, so all the high school teams, I know you guys only mainly have club, if I remember correctly, but all the high school teams, if you go to a UCA camp, you guys should have that out there as well. I know Germany has it, and like quite a few other countries have a good UCA presence, but if you go to a UCA camp and you're an All-American, you get invited to London. You still have to, I believe, pay for your trip. It's not...
Yeah, but it's a lot cheaper than it would normally be.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Because it's like a giant bundle. It includes like food, room and board, all that kind of stuff. It includes your flight.
That's not too bad. Yeah, so she got to go to London. Let's see. I've got to go to... I've judged in Mexico. That's a lot of fun. Some of the stuff that you see in Mexico is just crazy. Like how when you go to Worlds, you don't, for like level 6 or what's now level 7, you don't see more than 1 flip and 2 rotations. Whereas in Mexico, their open division is truly open. You'll see triple backs, you'll see double backs. I've seen people throw double backs on a hard floor or whatever, just mats. In a tumbling routine. I've seen just all sorts of crazy stuff. So if you guys are bored, look up some of the Mexican cheer competition videos. Some of them are pretty crazy. You'll see triple back baskets and other stuff, double back, all girl style rewinds and stuff like that.
I remember when I did my first back tuck basket.
Yeah.
He was literally like, have you ever done a back tuck on a trampoline? I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right, so here's the counts. It's going to go 1, 2, right, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 7, 8. And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, all right, ready, 5, 6, 7. I was like, oh, God, here I go.
Yeah, so good times.
Are you planning to come and visit Italy?
Always. I'm ready to go right now, but Trump won't let me. Yeah, blame Trump. Hey, I know this girl. She actually still has my UCA handbook. I haven't forgot about that. But yeah, she's one of my favorite coaches. How's it going, guys? Yeah, yeah, so let's see. Other things. Yeah, Worlds is a lot of fun, especially with Camilo. He's a lot of fun. Follow Camilo. He's great. That was one of my favorite Worlds, just driving around in I think we had a BMW convertible, and Camilo was loving it. He's just enjoying the sun. He acts like he doesn't get any sun in Italy, so yeah. But let's see. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions.
Honestly,
tips.
anything. Or if you want tips on a certain position or for a certain stunt.
You have a pic of us? You gotta send it to me. I'm gonna repost. It's supposedly World's Month, although we know that's a lie. I blame Trump. Yeah, but yeah, that was a lot of fun that year. It was great seeing you guys. You guys got to come back to Worlds next time it's reopened, and I'll definitely be there. But yeah, let's see what other craziness. Yeah, have you done any competitions outside of California, or were all of them in California for the most part?
No, I've had one in Nevada.
Oh, okay.
I had one in Vegas. That was USA, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun, except for when I did my tumbling pass, I hurt it on the wrong foot. So what was supposed to be a round off looked very strange. So then after that day, I learned how to do my round off on both sides. Fun fact.
In 2016, I was an alternate with PCM, their team Resurrection. If you get bored, you're welcome to look up. I think we had a cheer series on that team, Road to Redemption. Anyways, I injured my shoulder. I had a rotator cuff injury.
The key for back tuck stand?
Oh, backwards, I think, extension rule, I think.
Like when you start in a lower and you back tuck into
Maybe.
like a rewind almost?
I think so. Yeah, that would make sense. I don't have as many drills for that. I mean, technically it's the first part of a back handspring, because back handspring you're jumping into a handstand and then snapping down. However, other than obviously spotting and teaching parts of a back handspring, I don't have too many drills. However, I know a lot of people that could do that. I mean, we both do. So we could easily just...
I mean, if you're doing almost kind of like a rewind where you're back tucking into a stunt, I know the best thing that helped me when I was learning those is my my coach at the time told me to think of it as like a zipper. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to start off like you normally would for a back tuck, and you're going to jump as high as you possibly can with your bases helping you out, getting you up a little bit higher. And as you've rotated around, right as you're starting to see your bases hands, almost when you're about to like here, you're going to want to slowly start untucking into your bases hands, and you're literally going to just like think of like zipping up your jacket.
Standing back tuck. Okay.
Oh, a standing back tuck.
Okay, just making sure. I thought we were jumping into a handstand, basically back tucking into a handstand, which I have, or we both have friends that could do that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But
so standing back tuck.
Yeah. Okay. So standing back tuck. Biggest thing. Get a really good set. I like to break standing back tucks into two different parts, the jump and the pull. So I'll show you with what we have the best of my favorite drills on which I like to use for them. And then we could also teach you a few other drills that you could do with a friend, and basically how to do it, both spotted as well as you ready to throw some unspotted? Perfect. She's ready. No warm up. Just kidding. Anyways, we're going to do a few drills. So we're going to use what we have right now. We are next to a curb outside. So we're going to use that. If you guys are at a gym and you have those stackable mats, I would say use those. I really like using them. They're a little bit softer. However, since we don't have that, we have the curb. So that's what we're using. So let's get you all set up. And we're doing drills. Okay, so perfect. Our first part, we'll scoot a little bit farther back that way. We're going to start off actually on the lower part. Woo! So you're going to face away. Squeeze that core, you're going to give a big jump. Squeeze that core, getting those arms all the way up, and your goal is to hop on here. So, big jump. So she's demonstrating the first part of the drill. It's just to get your vertical jump. She's jumping, getting those arms all the way up. Drive them up as fast as you can, getting them right next to your ears. You don't want to cut that set short. Squeezing that core, and you're going to just jump onto something higher. If you have stackable mats, what I like to do is start off with one stack, and then sometimes I'll even move up to 2 stacks. So it'll be a bit of a jump and a bit of a push, but it'll help you with that vertical. So this is the first part of it. So some of my favorite drills, perfect. And the next part, we're gonna utilize our handy dandy towel. Grab it and pull the other part. There you go. I'll have it slightly hanging off. Lay down with your head basically hanging off of this. legs flat, arms up like that. Basically, you're gonna have your hands right here. You're gonna put your hands on the ground, and you're gonna drive with those hips, rotating those hips, and roll into a ball on the ground. I'm gonna spot you through it.
Where am I going?
To the ground, into a nugget.
Dude, I'm gonna hit my head on the back of this curb.
That's why I have your hands right here. So drive up and hit my hands with your shins first. Perfect. So now do that same thing, but keep rolling. You're good. Yeah. You're all scared.
This thing is hitting my head.
Yeah. We'll just have your neck hanging
Do
out.
it with mats, not a curb.
Curbs are great. Again.
Okay.
So what we're looking for in this drill is the rotation of your hips. So your tuck is basically your hips rotating. That's going to get you around. So you're going to start off just with what we did first, driving those shins up. You don't want to leave those legs behind, so I always tell people hit my hand with your shins. So she's bringing her shins up, getting into a nice small ball. Have those hands up to protect that head. You don't want to have your hands down because it doesn't leave you with much protection. So, yeah. Ready? Mm-hmm. Whenever you're ready. So right now,
hurts.
here, let's, you want to fold it over a couple times and
Yes, that'd be nice.
let's do, you want to do it so this is on the outside, that way you have,
Oh, here?
I don't know, that way you have softer stuff. There you go, Mitch.
That'll work.
Got yourself a little pillow.
Not really, but it's
Right now you're starting to like push out here, just stay in a ball. Try to stay in. I know sometimes easier said than done. Legs straight. And whenever you're ready. There you go.
I should just put up my hood next time. Maybe that will add a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe. So those are two of the drills that I really enjoy doing for back techs. The next part is basically an assisted or a, I guess, kind of assisted back tech. Basically, it's a back tech without doing the back tech. So you're going to have a second person. Hopefully they're at least as if you're going to start initiating that back tech. However, they're going to stop all momentum. So as the person behind, I'm just going to lift them. And if they have a lot of rotation, I could even place them on the shoulder, or I could just keep resisting against and just stop that rotation. Basically, that'll get them used to what they're doing. What you don't want to do, especially in this, since you have a person behind you, is throw your head back because you'll possibly headbutt the person behind you, and it's also a bad habit that you don't want to have when throwing your back tech. You want to try thinking when you're doing your back tech, look at something straight in front of you and not throwing your head backwards. So yeah, let's do a couple of those drills. I'll stand this set. Any questions? You're just gonna big set, jump.
I've done this one before.
Cool. You're welcome. Whenever you're ready. You are drunk. The cameraman is drunk. I don't know how much that'll.
It's a little windy over here, so the camera just fell over like it's about to again.
It's also that we're at an angle, which definitely does not help. Yeah, there's definitely wind. Let's try.
Do you guys have any questions so far, or anything? Alright.
Hopefully that'll do.
Hopefully.
Is it even facing you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try it. Whenever you're ready. Even more with those arms.
Okay.
And then,
You want me to try and go up and over your shoulder?
yeah,
Okay.
just pull as hard as you can, as if you're doing it. And then really drive with those hips. And shins.
Ready? 1, 2.
Okay. Getting better.
Any more? Might
As
go even
much
more.
as you can.
Oh man, you better stop me.
Of course.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2.
So these are fun little drills just to practice your back tuck in case you need it. Thank you guys. And then after you feel solid with this, you could start throwing some assisted back tucks. There's a couple ways I do it. You could either just go small of the back, and I could use this other hand to help them rotate, or sometimes if I'm worried about them going a little crazy and I want a little extra support, I'll wrap my hand in their shirt and now I can help rotate them. Yeah, you want to try one?
Go in here.
Face your normal way. Star lucky stick.
Good God. I haven't done one of these forever.
I'll spot the poop out of it.
Okay, but just don't leave me over.
No, no.
Okay.
I'm gonna help you stop as well.
Ready?
Yeah. It's not too bad, right?
No.
If I could get my hand back. So yeah, that's back tucks. Any other questions? Any other tips that you can think of? Drive with your shins. Don't leave your feet behind. Make sure those shins are up. It'll help you rotate so that way you can spot the ground. And then as soon as you land, stand up.
Also, when doing back tucks, make sure you're not just trying to bring your knees up to your nose. You want to kind of lift with the hips a little bit so you get that height, so you're not literally just going to go plunging into the ground.
Yeah, so I don't know. Let's see. Any last questions, concerns, moans, groans, complaints, things that you want to see? You want to see her do a standing full? I do.
I don't.
Just kidding. Devil back rewind.
Let's go.
One
Let's get to
arm.
add an aerial in there.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's see. We showed you guys how to tape, stretching flyers, hand-to-hand grips, how to jump into hand-to-hand bases. In case you've never done hand-to-hand before, start off eye level, give a little pop, trying to keep everything kind of level. Don't try doing anything like that or anything like that. I like keeping everything nice and solid, giving a pop, and then lowering those hands. So back to hands.
Also, if you're just practicing doing hand-to-hands, just trying to get the basics, there's an easier way to get up than a cannonball. You just place your foot on the thigh. You have the hands, you place your foot on the thigh, and then you go shoulder, other shoulder.
Yeah, so that you could Purdue up and stuff. Just
I want to see.
jump up. Okay. Okay, we want to see. You want to go up the shoulders? You want to go for hand-to-hand, cannonball? pirouettes.
Go up to shoulders. I haven't done a hand-to-hand in forever.
Yeah.
We can do one. I'm fine with it, but just warn them that I haven't done it in forever.
Yeah, so she wanted me to warn you. You might have heard that she hasn't done hand-to-hands in forever.
I haven't done this in a while, so it might not be too great, especially because we're on a downward slope, so that'll throw it off just a little bit too. But I'll show you pretty much kind of what it looks like.
Don't forget the cameraman's drunk.
Yes.
So walking up the shoulders first?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna grab, like you normally would for your hand-to-hand, you step thigh, shoulder, shoulder, like so.
Alright, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2.
Keep down. We're on a downward hill, it's a lot further down for me. Other than the letdown, that's what a hand-to-hand looks like.
Yeah. Do you want to show them Purduing up to shoulders?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, I can. As long as I don't kick you again.
Yeah, well, separate your feet. Don't.
No, I mean, yeah. So you want me to say hollow and then bring, right?
Yeah, just think right it up.
10 seconds of fun for them, you know?
Yeah.
That's all I got
Okay,
these
this is
days.
another way how to
That's
get
my
up.
big ticket item.
Do you want to do it the acro way, like that? Or do you want to just jump into it? 1, 2, dip, go.
It doesn't matter.
We'll do the cheer way.
Okay.
1, 2.
And that's another way to get up.
And right back down. You ready? Just walk off the front. So yeah, that's another way. Have you done cartwheel-ins?
No.
I'll talk you guys through cartwheels in case you want to try it. You can start off with a normal hand-to-hand grip. Do you cartwheel normally right foot forward or left? Or
I can
you do-
cartwheel both.
Let's do right foot forward. Generally it's right side, however, I will do whatever the flyer is most comfortable with, but generally it's right-handed technique, so right foot forward.
Oh, is it this thing?
Yeah.
Where you cartwheel up?
Yeah. So you're gonna start off hand-to-hand grip. She's gonna place her foot right here in the little crevice of my elbow. Basically the ball of her foot will be right here. Timing is gonna be 1, 2, down, up. You're gonna drive up as a base, shrugging out and giving a little bit of a pop, and then settling into that hand-to-hand. For the flyer, you're gonna really try driving up. I would highly suggest practicing some cartwheel handstands first. That way you realize how little forward momentum you need.
Yeah, so what you're going to want is you're going to want to go into your cartwheel. You're going to want to go into your cartwheel and stop in a handstand and try and hold there in that handstand.
Yeah. So you don't really need much forward momentum. Stop in that handstand, and then what we want to do is get a lot more height than we do forward momentum. So just really drive out, lock out those legs as if you're a flyer, riding it up, waiting for that base's pop. Once he does, then initiate that cartwheel. Also pretend that you're doing it on a line as if you're a gymnast and you're on a beam. Just paint a line right there. You don't want your feet hanging off of that line. You want to keep it on that line with your hips pointed forward. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so
It's kind of iffy and sketchy around here. You're supposed to stay indoors. The only time you're allowed outdoors is going to get something essential, so like food, things like that. But they just came out with a new instruction. If you are around people that you are not related to and stuff, you have to be wearing a face mask because they've distinguished that it is airborne. So, yeah.
So there's also people that are just walking around, walking their dog, taking their kids for a little bike ride. So there's still plenty of people out that are staying active. You'll see lots of runners out. You'll see lots of people just out walking their pets. So there's still a good amount of people out. Our original spot was going to be the beach. However, they closed that down, so we're a lot more limited. So right now we're just hanging out in beautiful Manhattan Beach, not too far from where I live, and a little drive from where she lives. But yeah, so yeah, why be stuck inside when we could get outside a little bit? But yeah, we're definitely blessed to have this weather and be able to see a little bit of sun. How's everything in Italy? I know that the news makes it look pretty bad, but the news doesn't always paint the full picture. So are you guys completely locked in? Are you guys able to go to at least a grocery store? What happens when you guys run out of toilet paper? I know everyone over here is stocking
We're
up.
already struggling because everyone's hoarding all of it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do you guys have all your supplies? Is there people delivering it to you? How is it working out there?
It's warm.
Yeah. So it's getting better.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
No, that's definitely good. Yeah, out here I feel like we haven't seen the peak of everything, but it's slowly getting there. I think San Francisco went on a complete lockdown, but supposedly out there people were just keeping with their normal habits. You'd go outside and you'd see the streets filled with people still, so they kind of had that coming. But yeah, out here it's super quiet. A lot of people are, for the most part, staying indoors. There's normally a lot of traffic, but there's no traffic right now, which is great. You could get anywhere that you want to go within 30 minutes in LA, which is nothing when it normally takes 2 or 3 hours, depending on where you want to go, if you leave at the wrong time. But yeah, it's great. Well, not great, but it's the traffic is great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I live easily like an hour and a half away on like a good day of traffic. It only took me 57 minutes to get here.
That's not bad. In an hour and a half, that's still like, I used to have to go to California All-Stars by your house, and I would leave at minimum 2 hours prior just to make it right on time, and that was like cutting it close. So yeah. Yeah, Camilo has a nice garden, and he has a little creek or a miniature river or whatever you want to call it that goes through his, yeah, whatever, but it goes through his backyard.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
do you have fish in there?
maybe he might, but yeah, Camilo, he's living the dream, and he has his work office in the same spot too, so he could
nice.
work and live and do everything. I'm jealous of Camilo. He won't marry me so I can get Italian citizenship though. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but I didn't ask him, but I just assumed. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, let's see, complete lockdown. So do people deliver, like, so any services, so like people will deliver anything that you need? So if you need food, they'll deliver it? Or like if your plumbing breaks down, they'll come, or like stuff like that? Or how does that all work? Let's see. Yeah. Do you guys ever feel like coming out to California when this is all over? Feel free to hit us up. Taylor will put her Instagram one more again, so that way you can find her. I'll make sure you guys have mine if you guys don't already. If you guys want to come out here, we normally train at the beach every Sunday. That's a date set in stone unless you sadly have work, which sucks for those people. But yeah, and then they have a lot of great open gyms. You have a lot of amazing cheer gyms. You also have acro gyms, tumbling and tricking gyms. There's just about anything that you could imagine when you come out here. So yeah, feel free to come out. Let us know. We can plan out the trip. If you feel like coming out after Worlds, let me know. Or I want to come also visit you guys, and she's coming along. She doesn't know it yet, but
I would love to go to Italy.
yeah. So we'll come visit you guys. Yeah, feel free to write us if you have any other questions or anything else. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Or if
you guys
any
have.
questions regarding flyer positions or what's a good way to do a certain stunt, definitely let me know.
Yeah. So, anyways, I know there's a little bit of a lag, so sorry if you guys are asking questions and we're not answering it, but I feel like there's a slight delay here. Anyways, she'll write her Instagram. You want to do it one more time?
Yeah, I can.
And then looks like we're good. We're out of here. Oh, we definitely are. Let us know. You ready?
That's my Instagram.
We want to come live with you guys. We're ready. Team Italy right here. She's my base.
Oh yeah, let's go hand in hand.
Yeah. All right, this is gonna turn out well.
Oh my god.
So, all right. Anyways, I'll let you guys get back to your day. Feel free to write us. We're happy to chat with you guys or anything if you guys have any questions, or if you just want to see more sunny California. We're happy to go on here whenever we can, and especially on Sundays. We'll show you the beach.
Yeah.
The streaming is going to be horrid
Terrible.
out there.
Terrible.
Lots of people, but the internet sucks because there's so many people. But
Yeah.
we'll do our best. All right. Anything else?
No?
All right. I'm just gonna say, stay amazing.
Stay safe.
All right. Let's see. End video.